I'm Mike Hopkins, and I'm the president of the Robotics Club here at Scotch Plains Family High School.
My name is Jacob Kennedy, and I am kind of like the co-president of Robotics Club.
I first got started in robotics in 7th grade. We went to a science Olympiad thing, and Terrell organized it. And there was one event where we had to build a robot. When the teacher was dividing up which activities everyone was going to do, I thought that one looked the coolest, so I volunteered, and I was able to do it. And that was the first robot that I really ever got to build.
I've always liked building things like Kinects and Legos and stuff like that. So when I heard about robotics through my friend's older brother, who actually made the club, I was like, oh, that's really cool.
So what we do is we compete in events which are organized by a company called Vex. And what we do is we build a robot to compete in a game which gets new rules each year. And what we do is we compete each weekend against other schools all around New Jersey. We also this year went to the Pennsylvania State Championships as well as the New Jersey State Championships.
So there's probably 50 rounds. You take part in probably 7, 8 of them, and you compete with another randomly selected group against 2 other groups. Out of like 97 people at the Pennsylvania competition, we were 8th. So something, but so close.
The class in for robots is actually a really good introduction. They use all the same kits and tools as our club do. They are about the same level as us, but the competitions that they run are on a slightly smaller field and usually aren't quite as complex. But it's a really good way to get started and get experience building robots with the same tools that we use in the club.
Basic design of it is we get the tennis ball right about here, and then we close the clamp. It gets stuck in between the 2 metal pieces, and then as we raise the claw, we open it a little bit so it drops back into the pocket here, and we close it again so it's more secure, and we can transport it to and from the field to the pipes when the original design was.
Well, we've done pretty well, but that's probably a lot of because we seem to... This design worked pretty well for getting the balls in here quickly and accurately, and we finished our robot first. So on the first field that we had, then we had more practice. Yeah, he had a lot more practice using it and driving it. So that gave us a pretty big advantage over everyone else.
We have the main claw arm. Everything I'm going to explain is powered by a separate motor. Mm-hmm. We've got the actual claw motor. The mechanism spins this. The motor spins this gear, which then closes the mechanism. Via control on the back of on the controller. And then we have the main claw arm where the claw is attached to. The way the claw arm works, we have a horizontal motor. We got 2 small gears on either side for extra power. We've got an elastic kind of band here that supports and keeps it rigid. And then on the bottom, we've got 2 motors, one here, each powering its own separate kind of side chassis, side of the gears on the chassis. It's a large to small gear ratio. We found that was the best combination of power and speed for the machine, and at the time when everyone else was in development, we had and still have the best chassis. It works really well, actually.
I'm going to Rochester Institute of Technology for electrical engineering with concentrations in robotics, which is really cool. So I really want to do something with it later in my life.
I've had a lot of experiences meeting new kids, because when we go to these events, there's always like 20 to 25 other teams. At the state championships, it gets up to 100, and everyone who's involved with this is really friendly and willing to help each other. So you make a lot of new friends and a lot of new connections. Also, it's really helped me because sometimes universities and also military branches even will attend these competitions and recruit. So you can do a lot of networking and really get yourself in a good position when you try and go off to college or make a career choice.
My friend's older brother is actually getting a master's in robotics at Carnegie Mellon, and he's trying to go for SpaceX, which is this private company that is kind of like, it's basically the private version of NASA, which would be really cool to get into that kind of technology and such. So yeah, probably that job would be cool.
I would suggest first sign up for the course that Mr. Rodriguez has, because it's really good at giving you a baseline introduction, and it can take anyone who's a really beginner and knows nothing and can bring them up. And even if you're more advanced, it can take you from where you are and still improve you.
We're always looking for new members and such, and we're trying to find someone to carry on the club, because once Mike leaves, we really don't have anyone left that will be motivated or determined enough to take part and take control.
After that, I would recommend coming and stopping by our club. We meet every Tuesday, and we're always looking for new members. There's no only you can come in the beginning of the year. We'll accept you always. And just let us know you're new and you're really interested. And as long as you're there every Tuesday and you really put forth the effort to help work on the robot and learn, we're always willing to help out kids.